Jack Reeves wiped the grease from his hands, staring at the impossible creature curled up on his workbench. The holographic diagnostic scanner flickered blue light across her silver fur, confirming what he already knew. This wasn't any Earth species. The feline creature, roughly the size of a mountain lion, but with bioluminescent patterns tracing her spine, breathed steadily. Her triple-lidded eyes closed in what he hoped was sleep. "Not a coma, Dad. Is the alien cat still alive?" His daughter Emma's voice crackled through the garage intercom. "She's stable," Jack replied, glancing at the converted medical pod he'd rigged from old military equipment. "Vitals are strong, just unconscious." 3 days ago, Jack had been a single father trying to get his salvage business off the ground in the Arizona desert. 3 days ago, his biggest concern was Emma's upcoming 10th birthday and whether he could afford the Neuralink tablet she wanted. Then the pod had crashed into his garage at 0300 hours, punching through the reinforced roof like tissue paper. The emergency beacon had been screaming, in a language his old Marinishu translator couldn't decipher, but the occupant inside her had been clear enough. Royalty. The markings on her collar weren't decorative. They were rank insignias that his scanner identified as belonging to the Felina Convergent, a spacefaring civilization that controlled 12 star systems in the Kepler sector. Jack had served 2 tours on Kepler 4 for to be before Emma was born. He knew the Felina by reputation, fiercely territorial, highly intelligent, and absolutely untouchable by human diplomatic standards. They viewed humans as useful laborers, but nothing more, certainly not worth royal attention. Yet here she was, unconscious in his garage, her pod's black box revealing a tale of assassination and escape. Someone in her own court wanted her dead. "She ghosted me again," Jack had joked to Emma that first morning, referring to her mother who'd left them 5 years ago. His daughter hadn't laughed. Neither had he, really. The humor was a defense mechanism, something to make the impossible situation feel manageable. The creature stirred. Jack stepped back instinctively, his hand moving to the plasma welder on his belt. Not a weapon, but it would do in a pinch. Her eyes opened in sequence, first the outer lids, then the middle, finally the inner membranes that protected her vertical pupils. They glowed amber in the dim garage light. "You are the mechanic," she said, her voice emerging from a neural translator embedded in her collar. The English was perfect, though her cadence carried an alien formality. "The one who stabilized my pod's quantum drive before it collapsed." Jack nodded slowly. "You were venting exotic matter. Another 10 minutes and you'd have created a micro-black hole." It seemed like the neighborly thing to do, prevent a localized apocalypse. Her tail twitched amusement, he guessed. "I am Melissa Scar, 3rd Princess of the Convergence, keeper of the Stellar Archives, and apparently, a refugee in your primitive storage structure." "Garage," Jack corrected. "And you're welcome, Your Highness." Melissa rose to her feet with fluid grace, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing in what Jack's scanner interpreted as embarrassment. "You have my gratitude, mechanic. I assume you've decoded my pod's distress log, enough to know someone wants you dead. Your cousin, I'm guessing the power struggle over the Convergence throne." Jack pulled up the holographic data. "Your pod was sabotaged. The quantum drive was rigged to fail mid-jump, stranding you between dimensions. You're lucky you ended up here instead of scattered across 5 dimensions." "Luck had nothing to do with it," Melissa said, moving closer to examine the data. Her whiskers twitched as she processed the information. "I set the emergency coordinates myself. I researched human mechanics after the war. Your kind has a peculiar talent for making broken things function. I gambled that if I could reach a human settlement, someone might have the skill to save my life." Jack felt a strange pride at that. "So you deliberately crash-landed in some random guy's garage?" "Not random," Melissa's gaze fixed on the commendation plaques on his wall, remnants of his Marine service. "Your name appeared in Convergence intelligence reports. Sergeant Jack Reeves, 44th Engineering Battalion. You rebuilt a downed Convergence cruiser's power core during the Kepler incident, using nothing but human tools and determination. You saved 300 Felinor civilians when your own command ordered you to evacuate." Jack remembered. The brass had been furious he'd ignored a direct order to save aliens instead of securing human assets. It had cost him his promotion and eventually his military career. "They were kids," he said quietly. "Didn't seem right to leave them. That action made you notable when I needed someone trustworthy, someone capable." Your name emerged from the database. Melissa's tail curled in what Jack was learning to recognize as respect. "I ghosted my own court, my own people, to reach you." A proximity alarm shrieked. Jack's security system, military grade, paranoid, and apparently Justify detected 3 incoming craft. His screen showed Felina assault shuttles in atmospheric entry, weapons hot. Your cousin didn't waste time, Jack muttered, already moving toward his daughter's room. Emma, bug out protocols. Now. They've traced my quantum signature, Melissa said, her voice tight with urgency. I've endangered you both. I should leave too late for that. Jack was already pulling weapons from hidden compartments, plasma rifles he'd forgotten to turn in when he mustered out. Besides, I've got a kid upstairs who's been begging me to teach her about alien tech. You're her birthday present, apparently. Melissa's eyes widened, all 6 lids. You would fight for me, risk your offspring. Jack chambered a charge pack with practiced efficiency. You came to my home asking for help. Marines don't abandon their posts, and we sure as hell don't hand over refugees to assassins. He glanced at her, a grim smile crossing his face. Besides, you've ghosted your whole civilization to get here. Seems like you're serious about living. The first shuttle touchdown outside, through the security feed. Jack saw Felina warriors in tactical armor deploying in textbook formation. Melissa moved beside him, her claws extending weapons of their own. I should warn you, mechanic, if we survive this, Convergence Protocol demands I repay this debt. Saving a princess comes with ... complications. Jack checked his sightlines and activated the garage's defensive shields and other forgotten military asset. One problem at a time, Your Highness. First, we don't die. Then we worry about complications. Emma appeared at the top of the stairs. Wearing her bug-out vest and holding the neural tablet, Jack couldn't afford she'd built it herself from salvage. Dad, is this the cool part where we fight space cats? Extremely cool part, Jack confirmed. Also extremely dangerous. Stay in the safe room until the garage door exploded inward. The battle had begun. Outside, stars wheeled overhead and different witnesses to the small drama unfolding in the Arizona desert, where a veteran single dad and a fugitive princess made their stand against an empire. Sometimes, Jack reflected as plasma fire lit up his garage. Ghosting someone could lead to the most unexpected reunions. The end.